Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my ranking for all 11 movies in the Batman franchise. So, I'm a pretty big Batman fan, and over the last couple months I've reviewed all of the theatrical Batman movies, and there's 11 of them so far. So, I thought I'd go ahead and get going on here. I am gonna not include Justice League just because it's not a solo Batman movie. Same with Batman v Superman. Neither one of them are gonna be on this list just because of that reason. If they were solo movies, they'd be on here and everything. But since they're not on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 11 is Batman and Robin. This movie is just not super great. It is. I don't think it's a terrible movie like some people like to act like. They act like it's the worst comic book movie ever made. I definitely wouldn't go that far, but it definitely is not super great. It's pretty much a toy commercial. The acting is kind of iffy, but the actors don't really have a lot to work with. I will say Arnold Schwarzenegger, though, he steals the show. He's hilarious as Dr. Freeze with his little ice puns and stuff, and as someone who's just a big Schwarzenegger fan, I think he was great as Mr. Freeze. Best well-adapted character? Definitely not, but I think he did a good job for this campy, fun movie, and it does have some fun moments and stuff, but it just isn't a super great one and everything. There's a reason why this one's considered to be the low point in Batman history. I don't think it's this god-awful movie, but it's definitely not very good. So Batman and Robin is number 11, and number 10 is Batman the movie from 1966 starring Adam West. I think this movie is kind of like with Batman and Robin. It's okay. I don't think it's terrible or god-awful, but it's not something I like to revisit. It's very kind of just mediocre. It has a lot of silliness to it, which is what you expect. It's pretty much like an extended episode of the show and everything. And if you're into the Batman 86 show, or 66 show, you probably love it. If not, then you're not going to like this one much either. But I think it's okay. I think it's a fun movie, and for what it is, it's alright. So, Batman the movie is number 10, and number 9 is Batman 1989. So now we're at the part of the list where the next ones are movies that I actually really legit love a lot. Pretty much from this one up, I like them a lot or love them. And this is one of the ones that I gotta say I really love, mostly because of Jack Nicholson's Joker and everything. But I will say Michael Keaton was a really good Batman. I liked him more in the next movie, though. But I love the story and everything, and it is more of a Joker movie than it is a Batman movie. It's crazy, like Batman doesn't even appear in the movie for like the first 15-20 minutes of it. But it's a fun time. I wouldn't say it's anything super amazing, but it's still great. It's still really good and has some great directing and sets and costumes and stuff. And the atmosphere of the movie is just really great. And I love Gotham in this movie. But, yeah, so Batman 1989 is number 9. And number 8 is Batman Forever. I really like this one quite a bit, too. I think it's one of the ones that I used to watch all the time as a kid. Out of the 4 movies, this is the one I watched the most and everything, and I really debated on whether to put this one here or have it up a little bit higher, but I decided that number 8 is fair enough, and everything, because it is really cheesy and everything, but it still holds up pretty well for what the studio was trying to go for and everything. It's kind of like with Batman and Robin, a toy commercial, but it's still really entertaining, and the performances from Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones as the villains are really great. Val Kilmer is very underrated Batman, and there's supposedly this other cut that's about 3 hours long that I think would have made the movie even better. I wish, hopefully, maybe they'll release the Schumacher cut eventually. But yeah, so uh, Batman Forever is number 8, and number 7 is The Batman. This is the newest one, and like I said in my Batman actors ranking, this one is one that could move up on rewatch. I've only seen it once, so right now it's just kind of down towards the bottom. But it's not because I necessarily dislike it or anything. I just I don't remember it near as much because everything that was going on at the time when I went to see it, it just kind of I remember loving it and enjoying it. I just don't remember it very well because a lot of this stuff has happened since then. But it is a really good movie from what I remember and everything. But until I rewatch it, it's at number 7. And number 6 is Batman Returns. Now this is probably my favorite movie out of the Batman Schumacher era. In fact, actually, I do have it as my favorite. But I've always really liked this one quite a bit. It is more of a Tim Burton movie than a Batman movie, but it is a lot of fun. I love the Christmas setting and stuff, and the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, is just one of my favorite out of the Batman movie villains. He's just absolutely great as the character, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, she's just absolutely amazing too. And but yeah, so I really like Batman Returns quite a bit. I think it's a really entertaining movie, and I love the story. I think Michael Keaton is even better in this movie, and his chemistry with Michelle Pfeiffer is great, and it's just a really good one. So Batman Returns is number 6, and number 5 is The Dark Knight Rises. I really like this one. I think it's a good conclusion to Christopher Nolan's trilogy, but I do have some issues with the pacing and stuff and everything, but it is still a really great entry in the franchise. I know a lot of people didn't like a lot of the stuff that happened at the end of it, and I can understand that, but I felt like it was a decent enough ending to the trilogy, and it was overshadowed by that shooting that happened at that movie theater, which is just terrible and very sad to think about. But it's a really good movie though, like I said, and The Dark Knight Rises is pretty underrated, just like Batman Returns. I think both of those are two of the more underrated movies in the Batman franchise, but this one is pretty good. So it's number 5, and number 4 is the Lego Batman movie. I absolutely love this movie. It's just a big celebration of all things Batman. Kind of the way that a lot of people consider Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that way, is a celebration of Spider-Man. This one is a celebration of Batman. And personally, I feel like this movie is a lot better. I love the humor in here, but I also love the heart and how it, even though it's not like your typical Batman stuff, you do still get a cool little Batman feeling to it, and it's just a really fun movie and everything. Personally, I think it's better than the Lego movie as well, but that's a franchise I might have to talk about sometime, because I've seen all of the Lego movies, but I've only seen some of them once. One of them I haven't seen. I take it back, I haven't seen the Lego Ninjago movie yet, so maybe eventually I'll get around to reviewing all of the other ones. But I really love the Lego Batman movie, so it's number 4. And number 3 is Batman Begins. I just absolutely love this movie. I love the whole origin story of how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. It kind of feels like a character-driven movie, and watching Bruce's transformation throughout the whole movie is just really, really well done, and how he gets prepped to be Batman and everything. I love that. And I think Christian Bale was really great in the role in this movie. I think this is the one where he shines the most, personally, as the characters of Bruce Wayne and Batman. But I don't think it's the best movie in the franchise as far as the story goes, but it's still a really great one. And as far as origin story movies go, this is definitely one of my favorites. So it's number 3, and number 2 is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I really debated on whether I was going to have this at number 1 or 2. And next time if I do an updated ranking, it could easily swap places with my number 1, but I absolutely love this movie. It is such a great movie. As someone who is a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series, this movie is just as good as that show. It's pretty dark for being, even though it's only PG, it's still pretty dark and has a lot of good stuff about it. It has a really good tone and story and everything. I love the voice acting. Once again, is excellent from everybody who was on the show and everything. The character designs look pretty cool and everything. There's not much about this movie that I can't say that I haven't said before on how much I love it. It's just a really great movie, and it's one of the best Batman movies of all time for sure and everything. And it's barely number 2. Like I said, I could switch them out probably anytime and everything because of how close this one is to number 1 and everything. So it's number 2, and coming in at number 1 is the Dark Knight. I absolutely love this movie. I know it's one of those movies that people love to hate on and say that it's like the most overrated superhero movie and everything. I can get it. Like I don't agree with most people that say it's the greatest superhero movie ever, but I do completely understand how they could say it's one of the best, because it is a really great movie. I absolutely love this movie, especially because of not Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger's Joker. He's just absolutely amazing in the role and everything. He just gets it down perfectly for this version of the character. I think that the story is just really great. I love the whole stuff with Harvey Dent and how most of the movie they're trying to build him up as the White Knight of Gotham and stuff, and then it just all goes to crap in the 3rd act and he becomes Two-Face and it just gets crazy. I kind of wish that they would have ended it with Two-Face still alive, though. That way he could have been the main villain for The Dark Knight Rises instead of doing it the way we got it. But the way the movie is and everything, I think it's great, and it still holds up really well and everything. Although it's not as fun to watch when it's just a one and done. If I want to watch one Nolan movie, I end up watching all 3 of them and everything, because they kind of just go together so well and everything. But yeah, I absolutely love The Dark Knight and everything, so it's easily my favorite Batman movie. So let me know in the comments what your favorite Batman movies are, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.